Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
We're your shortcut to getting, well, truly well-informed. We sift through sources, pull out the key bits, and break them down.
Exactly.
And today, we're looking at something ancient, but honestly, it feels incredibly relevant right now.
Absolutely. More than ever, maybe.
Our source material is from The Quiet Path Within, Dhyana Yoga. Specifically, we're focusing on excerpts about Chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita.
The yoga of meditation.
That's the one. And our mission, really, is to pull out the wisdom from this amazing guide. It's all about how to, go within.
Especially in a world that's constantly pulling us outwards.
Totally. If you remember, Chapter 5 was kind of about letting go out in the world.
That's active renunciation, yeah.
Well, Chapter 6 feels like the next step. It's the deep dive inward, like a step-by-step journey to that place. Well, where peace already is.
And what's so fascinating, I think, is not just that it's timeless wisdom, but how it offers this almost radical shortcut.
A shortcut, how so?
Well, it suggests peace isn't something you have to chase or, build through endless external effort.
Okay.
It's something you actually uncover by quieting all that noise inside.
Ah, right. So it's already there.
Exactly. Which
Yeah.
feels, honestly, like a very modern solution, even though it's ancient. A solution to this relentless distraction we all face.
Yeah.
It really is a guide to silence. It gives such profound insights into how you actually cultivate that inner stillness.
Okay, let's get into it then. The source starts with a question that sounds simple, but maybe isn't.
Oh, which one?
Who is a true yogi?
Ah, yes. Fundamental.
And the answer, quoting Krishna from the Gita, is pretty powerful. It says, "He who performs his duty without dependence on the results, that person is a true renunciate and yogi."
Not just someone who stops doing things.
Exactly. Not the one who merely renounces action.
Yeah.
Now, for us today, living in such a goal-oriented world, detaching from results, that feels
Counterintuitive.
totally. So what does the Gita really mean by renunciate here?
Yeah.
It's clearly not about just, quitting your job and heading for a cave.
No, absolutely not. And that's such a vital distinction, isn't it? It completely reframes renunciation. It's definitely not about abandoning responsibilities or, running away from life.
So it's an inner thing.
Precisely. It's about a kind of radical detachment while you're acting, in the middle of it all.
Okay.
The idea is that a true yogi masters their mind, not necessarily their external situation. They live fully, they engage, they do their duties, but they free up their inner state from getting yanked around by the outcomes.
Right. The anxiety about whether it'll work out or not.
Exactly. And ironically, this allows for much more effective action because you're not burdened by constant thoughts of success or failure.
That makes sense. Less mental energy wasted.
Right. Which then leads to the big question, doesn't it?
Which is?
How do you actually cultivate that kind of steady, quiet mind, amidst everything?
And that's exactly where Chapter 6 pivots, right? Goes into the practical how-to.
Yes. It becomes this incredibly clear instruction manual for meditation. Timeless stuff.
The Gita gets really specific, almost clinical, doesn't it?
It really does.
It says things like, sit in a clean, quiet place.
The environment matters.
Upright, still.
Posture is key.
Eyes focused between the eyebrows.
The drishti, the focal point.
Free from fear, with a mind fixed on the self. It sounds, well, deeply disciplined, almost sacred.
It is presented that way, a dedicated practice.
Okay, but that phrase, a mind fixed on the self. For listeners, what exactly is the self in the context of the Gita? It's clearly not just our everyday personality or ego, is it?
No, that's a crucial distinction, really important. In the Gita, the self, often with a capital S, isn't your personal ego.
Right.
It's not your likes, your dislikes, your job title, your temporary identity. It refers to that universal, unchanging essence within you.
Like deeper conscious.
Exactly, your deepest consciousness. The part of you that just observes all your experiences without being swept away by them. Your inner witness, you could say.
The inner witness, I like that.
And what's really insightful here is that emphasis on discipline you mentioned.
Yeah.
The text says, when the mind becomes still, really still, and it's freed from all cravings, then the yogi finds supreme bliss in the self.
Supreme bliss. That's a big promise.
It is. There's a beautiful analogy used. When the waves settle, the ocean reveals its depth. The implication is clear. That clarity, that peace, it's always there. It's just underneath the surface turbulence of our busy minds.
So the meditation, the stillness, it lets the waves settle so you can see the depth.
That's the idea.
So, okay, let's say someone starts doing this inner work. meditating, trying to still the mind.
Mm.
What's the payoff? What actually shifts inside?
Well, the source explains that the yogi starts to become equal to all.
Equal to all. What does that look like?
It means being free from being constantly pushed around by anger or fear or desire. They begin to see the self in everyone and everyone in the self.
Wow.
It notes they're not really disturbed by gain or loss, pleasure or pain anymore, things that normally rock our boat.
Yeah, definitely.
It even says a true yogi looks upon all beings with equal vision, be it a saint, a sinner, a friend, or an enemy.
Okay, that sounds almost superhuman, like really hard to achieve.
It's presented as the ideal, certainly.
What does that equal vision actually mean in practice? Is it like ignoring differences between people or pretending bad actions don't matter?
No, that's another vital distinction. It's definitely not about ignoring reality or consequences. It's not about becoming naive.
Okay.
Instead, it's about recognizing that same spark of consciousness, that self we talked about, within everyone.
Regardless of their behavior or role.
Regardless of their external role, their actions, their perceived moral standing, it's about cultivating this really profound empathy.
Empathy, okay.
An empathy that allows you to stay anchored and unbiased, even when you're dealing with difficult people or situations.
So you see past the surface stuff.
You see beyond the superficial judgments to that shared essence, that shared humanity. It's more than just a relaxation technique, you see.
Yeah, much more.
It's a fundamental shift in consciousness, developing an unwavering inner state that isn't just constantly swayed by what's happening outside.
Okay, but what if someone tries this? They sit, they try to meditate, and they just feel like they're failing. Like, I can't quiet my mind, this isn't working. That's got to be common.
Incredibly common, yes.
Even Arjuna, the warrior in the Gita, he basically asks Krishna this exact question. He says, what if someone tries but fails in meditation?
Yeah.
What happens then? Are they just lost?
It's a very human question.
And Krishna gives this really comforting answer. He says, essentially, no effort is ever wasted. They are never lost.
Right.
He says something like, in their next life, they're born into a wise family, and they just pick up where they left off. They continue the journey.
It's a profound reassurance.
It really is comforting.
Yeah.
But couldn't some people hear that and think, oh, well, no need to try too hard now. I've got next life.
Yeah.
Could it be seen as an excuse for maybe not putting in the effort?
That's an insightful question, and it definitely bumps up against our sort of Western linear thinking about progress and needing results now.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Gita is offering an excuse for inaction. Not at all. Rather, it's underscoring a core belief you find in many spiritual paths.
Which is?
That in spiritual practice, nothing is ever truly wasted. Every sincere attempt, every moment you try to turn inward, even if it feels like a failure, it accumulates like spiritual capital, you could say. It never just vanishes. It has an effect.
Okay, so even small efforts count and carry forward.
Exactly. It's a deep reassurance that even a tiny step towards inner peace, a brief moment of real intention, makes a difference and contributes to your overall journey. It's about the consistency of intention, the gradual transformation of consciousness, not necessarily hitting some perfect state right away.
Right. Not flawless execution from day one.
Precisely.
So when we pull it all together, these aren't just concepts, are they? They feel like really transformative insights from this chapter, Dhyana Yoga.
Definitely transformative.
Let's try and sum up the big takeaways. First, it seems the true yogi finds peace not by running away, but by cultivating detachment while acting.
Right. Yes. Peace becomes an inner companion, not a destination you reach only after stopping everything.
Okay. Second, that disciplined stillness through meditation is the actual practical way to uncover this self we talked about.
And that leads to genuine clarity and even joy.
Right. Third, this inner practice isn't just navel-gazing, it changes how you see the world.
Fundamentally, it helps you see that shared essence in everyone.
Fostering that deep empathy and what the text calls equality of vision.
Exactly. Seeing the self everywhere.
And maybe the most powerful one for many of us, that reassurance. That every single effort you make to go within, no matter how small or imperfect it feels.
It counts.
It subtly reshapes things. It moves you forward. No spiritual effort is ever truly wasted.
These are such potent reminders, aren't they? Especially for navigating just the sheer noise of modern life.
Absolutely. So maybe a question for everyone listening right now.
Yeah.
Ask yourself this.
Yeah.
When was the last time you actually sat?
Yeah.
Truly still. Like no phone scrolling, no running around, no podcasts even. Just breathing.